Today I want to speak to you about something that is deeply important in the life of every woman: wisdom. A woman who walks with God is strong, but she is also discerning. There are things in life that should be guarded carefully, not out of fear, but out of wisdom. The Bible tells us in Proverbs 4:23, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. There are three things a woman should always keep hidden from the world, not because she is weak, but because God has given her the strength to protect what is sacred. A wise woman understands the value of discretion and the importance of guarding what is sacred. Proverbs 4:23 teaches, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. This verse is not merely about emotions or personal feelings, but about the very essence of a person's life, what she allows to influence her, what she treasures, and what she protects. A woman who walks in wisdom recognizes that some things are too precious to be exposed to the world. She knows that her heart is the wellspring of her actions, words, and choices, and she must protect it from the influences that seek to corrupt, discourage, or divert her from the path God has set before her. In a world where oversharing is common, and where people often broadcast their private struggles, dreams, and fears, a wise woman exercises discernment. She understands that not every ear is meant to hear her deepest thoughts, and not every heart is capable of handling her truth with care. There are those who will misuse her vulnerabilities, those who will speak words of doubt over her dreams, and those who will try to pull her away from her faith and purpose. She guards her heart by carefully choosing whom she confides in, ensuring that those she shares with are trustworthy, prayerful, and aligned with God's wisdom. Guarding what is sacred does not mean living in secrecy or isolation, but it means recognizing the difference between what should be shared and what should be kept within the intimate place of prayer. A wise woman takes her concerns to God first, knowing that He alone can give her the strength, peace, and guidance she needs. She does not seek validation from the world, but instead she seeks God's will. She understands that when she guards her heart, she also guards her peace. The world may try to shake her confidence, circumstances may attempt to discourage her, but because she has kept her heart secure in God's truth, she stands firm. The way a woman guards her heart extends beyond emotions and into her actions. She is careful with her words, understanding that what she speaks has power. She does not engage in gossip or unnecessary conflict because she knows that such things can taint the purity of her spirit. She is mindful of what she allows into her life, whether through relationships, entertainment, or daily habits, because she knows that what she consumes shapes who she becomes. She chooses to fill her heart with the Word of God, with prayer, and with positive influences that lead her closer to righteousness. Wisdom teaches that not everything should be revealed, not every battle should be fought publicly, and not every blessing should be announced before its time. A wise woman walks in faith, allowing God to be her protector and guide. She guards her heart not out of fear, but out of fear, the knowledge that what is truly sacred must be nurtured with care and entrusted to God alone. Pain is an inevitable part of life. Every person experiences sorrow, disappointment, and wounds that cut deep into the heart. Yet how one deals with pain determines whether it leads to healing or further suffering. Psalm 147:3 tells us, He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. This verse is a powerful reminder that true healing does not come from the world, but from God Himself. When a woman experiences pain, whether from betrayal, loss, or personal struggles, her first response should be to take it to God, not to seek validation or comfort from people who may not truly understand her heart. Sharing pain with the world often leads to more heartache. Not everyone has pure intentions, and not everyone who listens truly cares. Some may judge, others may gossip, and some may even use vulnerability against the person who shares it. A wise woman understands that pouring her pain out before people cannot bring the deep, lasting healing that only God can provide. While there is a place for trusted friends, mentors, or spiritual advisors, the ultimate source of restoration is God. He sees beyond the surface, understands the depths of suffering, and offers comfort that no human can match. Turning to God in times of pain requires faith. It means trusting that He is listening even when there seems to be no immediate relief. It means believing in His love and sovereignty even when circumstances feel overwhelming. When a woman brings her burdens before the Lord, she is not just speaking into the air, she is pouring her heart out to the one who created her, knows her every tear, and has the power to restore what is broken. Prayer is not just an act of communication, it is a divine exchange where sorrow is met with peace, weakness is met with strength, and despair is met with hope. Many seek healing in the wrong places, whether through unhealthy relationships, distractions, or public expressions of pain that invite pity but not true restoration. The world may offer temporary relief through entertainment, social validation, or empty words of encouragement, but these do not mend the wounds of the soul. Only God, who understands the pain at its root, can bring healing that lasts. He does not just offer sympathy, he offers transformation. He does not just listen, he acts. This healing is not only about removing the pain, but also about refining the heart, making it stronger, more compassionate, more deeply connected to him. Healing from God is a process. It may not come in the way or the timing one expects, but it is always perfect. When a woman chooses to entrust her pain to him instead of seeking relief from the world, she finds something greater than comfort. She finds renewal. Her struggles become testimonies. Her wounds become wisdom. And her sorrows become a pathway to a deep relationship with her Creator. In him, she is never alone, never forgotten, and never beyond the reach of his healing touch. Family is one of the most sacred gifts given by God. It is a foundation built on love, trust, and unity. And its strength lies in the way its members protect and nurture one another. However, one of the biggest threats to a peaceful and loving home is the exposure of private matters to the outside world. When family issues are discussed openly with others, whether through gossip, complaints, or unnecessary sharing, it weakens the bond that holds the family together. Keeping family matters private is not about secrecy, but about preserving the love and peace that God intends for a household. Every family faces challenges. Disagreements arise, misunderstandings occur, and difficult times come and go. But when these struggles are taken outside the home, they become opportunities for others to interfere, judge, or even manipulate the situation. Not everyone who listens has pure intentions, and even those who care may not always offer the right guidance. The more people involved in a private matter, the more complicated it becomes. Small issues that could be resolved with patience and prayer may turn into major conflicts when outsiders contribute their opinions and perspectives. Keeping family matters private fosters an environment of trust. When family members know that their struggles will not be shared with outsiders, they feel safer opening up to one another. A home where privacy is respected becomes a place of refuge, where each member can express concerns, seek advice, and receive support without fear of judgment or betrayal. Love grows in a home where individuals feel valued and protected. And peace prevails when problems are handled with wisdom rather than public discussion. Another reason family matters should remain private is that unnecessary exposure can lead to resentment and broken relationships. When personal disputes or household struggles are shared with others, it creates embarrassment and division among family members. Hurtful words spoken in frustration may be repeated and misunderstood by others, causing pain that lingers long after the issue is resolved. Once trust is broken within a family, it is difficult to rebuild, and the damage can affect relationships for years to come. Moreover, when a family prioritizes privacy, they allow God to work in their situation without interference. Instead of seeking advice from outsiders who may not have spiritual wisdom, turning to God through prayer and seeking guidance from His Word brings clarity and peace. God desires harmony within families, and He provides wisdom to those who seek it. When family members rely on Him instead of relying on public opinion, they find solutions that strengthen their bond rather than weaken it. A peaceful home is one where love is protected, trust is nurtured, and conflicts are handled with care. By keeping family matters private, unnecessary stress and division are avoided, allowing relationships to flourish in an atmosphere of mutual respect and understanding. Privacy does not mean isolation, rather it means cherishing the sacredness of family life and choosing to resolve matters with love, wisdom, and discretion. Future plans are among the most delicate aspects of life. They represent dreams, goals, and the direction one hopes to take. However, sharing these plans too soon or with too many people can sometimes create unnecessary obstacles, doubts, and discouragement. Keeping future plans between oneself and God allows for greater clarity, spiritual guidance, and divine protection. When a person trusts God with their aspirations, they place their faith in the one who holds the future rather than seeking validation or approval from the world. One of the dangers of openly discussing future plans is the influence of negativity. Not everyone will understand or support the vision that God has placed in a person's heart. Some may offer discouraging words, questioning the possibility of success or planting seeds of doubt. Others may respond with jealousy or ill intentions, consciously or unconsciously wishing failure upon those who are striving toward a goal. Words have power, and when negative words are spoken over someone's dreams, they can create a burden of fear, uncertainty, and hesitation. A dream that once seemed exciting and achievable may start to feel distant and unrealistic when faced with the opinions of others. Additionally, sharing future plans prematurely can invite unnecessary challenges. There are times when an idea or opportunity is still developing, and it requires time, effort, and prayer before it is ready to be acted upon. Speaking too soon can lead to pressure from others, distractions, or even unintended consequences. Some people may try to take advantage of an idea, while others may impose expectations, making it harder to follow through with personal convictions. The journey toward fulfilling a goal should be guided by God, not shaped by the changing opinions of those around us. Keeping future plans between oneself and God also strengthens faith. It allows a person to rely fully on divine guidance rather than human approval. God knows the perfect timing for every step, and He prepares the right circumstances for success. When a person shares their plans with Him through prayer, they open themselves to wisdom, direction, and opportunities that may not have been visible otherwise. Seeking God's will rather than seeking external validation creates a stronger spiritual connection and ensures that decisions align with His purpose. Moreover, protecting one's future plans creates a sense of personal responsibility and determination. When fewer people are involved in the planning stage, distractions are minimized and focus remains strong. The quiet pursuit of a goal allows for undisturbed progress, uninterrupted by outside influences. It also fosters humility as success becomes a testimony of God's guidance rather than human approval. The moment a goal is achieved, it serves as a reminder that patience, prayer, and perseverance led to fulfillment without the need for unnecessary validation. God's plan for each person is unique, and He reveals it in His perfect time. Trusting Him with future plans ensures that they are guarded, nurtured, and fulfilled according to His will. Instead of inviting doubt and obstacles, keeping aspirations between oneself and God leads to a journey of faith, confidence, and divine blessings. Wisdom is one of the greatest gifts a person can possess. It is more than knowledge or intelligence. It is the ability to discern what is right, make sound decisions, and act with understanding. True wisdom comes from God, and when a person walks in wisdom, they naturally find protection. This protection is not just physical, but also emotional, spiritual, and mental. It shields a person from unnecessary pain, destructive choices, and harmful influences. When wisdom leads to protection, it creates a path that ultimately results in blessings. A wise person knows when to speak and when to remain silent, when to act and when to wait, when to trust and when to be cautious. This level of discernment prevents many problems before they even arise. For example, wisdom helps a person avoid toxic relationships, misleading opportunities, and impulsive decisions that could bring regret. By carefully weighing their choices and seeking God's guidance, they create a shield around their life that keeps them safe from harm. Protection is not just about avoiding danger, but about creating a life that is built on stability, peace, and security. When wisdom leads to protection, a person finds themselves surrounded by peace. They are not easily shaken by the opinions of others, nor are they led astray by distractions. They understand the value of guarding their heart, their words, and their actions. This protection extends to relationships, finances, and personal well-being. A wise person does not spend recklessly, argue unnecessarily, or engage in behavior that leads to destruction. Instead, they build their life on principles that ensure long-term peace and prosperity. Protection is a form of blessing in itself, but it also paves the way for even greater blessings. When a person walks in wisdom and avoids unnecessary troubles, they have more time, energy, and resources to focus on the things that truly matter. They are able to build strong relationships, grow in their faith, and pursue meaningful goals. God blesses those who seek His wisdom because He knows that they will use their blessings wisely. When a person is protected from distractions and harm, they are free to walk fully in the purpose God has for them. Moreover, wisdom not only protects an individual, but also extends protection to their family, community, and future generations. A wise parent raises children with good values, a wise leader guides people with fairness, and a wise friend gives counsel that uplifts rather than misleads. When wisdom is applied in daily life, it creates a ripple effect, bringing blessings not just to one person, but to many. The Bible teaches that wisdom is more valuable than silver or gold because it leads to a life filled with peace, joy, and divine favor. Ultimately, wisdom is a key that unlocks both protection and blessings. It is a light that guides a person away from harm and toward a life of purpose and fulfillment. Those who seek wisdom and apply it in their lives will always find themselves covered by God's protection and surrounded by His abundant blessings. Trusting in God's plan gives a woman the strength to walk in faith rather than fear. Life is full of uncertainties, challenges, and moments that test patience and endurance. However, when a woman places her trust in God, she no longer carries the burden of worry alone. She understands that He is in control, that His plans are always good, and that even when things do not make sense, He is working behind the scenes for her benefit. This trust allows her to move forward with confidence, knowing that she is not alone and that she is guided by a divine purpose. Fear is one of the greatest obstacles to living a fulfilled life. It creates doubt, hesitation, and anxiety about the future. A woman who relies on her own understanding may find herself overwhelmed by life's uncertainties. She may worry about finances, relationships, health, or the direction of her life. However, when she surrenders her plans to God, she shifts from a mindset of fear to one of faith. She recognizes that she does not have to figure everything out on her own because God already has a perfect plan for her. His wisdom is far greater than human understanding, and His timing is always right. Faith allows a woman to trust even when the path ahead is unclear. She does not need to see the full picture to take the next step. She understands that God does not ask for perfect knowledge, but for obedience. Just as a child trusts a loving parent, she trusts that God will provide, protect, and guide her according to His will. This trust brings peace to her heart, replacing anxiety with confidence. She no longer needs to control everything because she knows that God is directing her steps. Even in difficult times, she finds strength in His promises, holding on to His word rather than the fears that try to creep into her mind. Walking in faith does not mean that challenges will not come, but it does mean that a woman faces them with courage. She understands that every trial has a purpose, that every delay is part of God's perfect timing, and that every disappointment may be leading her to something better. Instead of being discouraged by setbacks, she sees them as opportunities to trust God even more. She prays, she waits, and she moves forward with a heart full of faith rather than fear. A woman who trusts in God's plan radiates strength and peace. She does not need constant reassurance from the world because her confidence comes from her Creator. She knows that no matter what happens, she is held in God's hands. Her faith is not dependent on circumstances, but on His unchanging nature. She walks boldly, not because she has all the answers, but because she believes in the one who does. Trusting in God's plan allows her to live with joy, hope, and a deep sense of purpose, knowing that He is leading her every step of the way. In a world where words travel fast and trust is often misplaced, a wise woman understands the value of discretion. She guards what is sacred and trusts her pain to God rather than the world, and keeps her future plans protected under His guidance. By doing so, she preserves her peace, safeguards her heart, and walks confidently in faith rather than fear. True strength is not in revealing everything, but in knowing what to hold close. A woman who embraces this wisdom finds security, grace, and divine blessings along her journey.